Hello, my friends. Here I am with another story. This is called The Birth of the Space Academy. In the autumn of 2025, as the leaves turned gold over the Rockies and the world beyond the borders whispered forgotten echoes, North America drew its great curtain. It was called Operation Turtleneck, a pact filled in smoke-filled bunkers from Ottawa to Mexico City, slamming shut the skies, the seas, and the digital veins that once pulsed with the globe's fantastic, frantic heartbeat. No more fights slicing the clouds like shiver arrows. No more container ships groaning under the weight of Asian gadgets and European wines. The borders bustled with drone sentinels and AI walls. A continent shell against the chaos outside. Families weep across the divide. Tourists become ghosts in empty terminals, and the stock tickers bled red for weeks. But in the heartland, a spark ignited. Self reliance, raw and unyielding, like a forge hammer striking flint. Sometimes all it takes is one person. The exodus from the pocket prisons began almost immediately. Smartphones, those addictive authors of endless scroll, were the first to fall. Google Trends light up like a meteor shower. Dumb phone searches spiked 300% as burnt out souls traded infinity feeds for flip phone vanitude. Vanitude. Coffee shops echoed with the clack of Beck Noke bricks and backyard rituals blooming. Phone free mornings, where the first hour's scan screen became segment. Cultural crashing like a spent booster. It was the analog awakening, a culture exhaled after the K-pop frenzy that has once glued eyes to screens. BTS holograms fading into memories as vinyl scratched back to life. But North America, near the innovator, didn't stop at not Nostrugal. We leap forward straight into the wet well. By spring 2026, the brain nets hummed in clients and clinics from Silicon Valley to the Yukons. Neuralinks cone-sized implants, once science fiction whispers, threaded into willing skulls via jugular stents. Non-surgical miracles funded by obsolescent windfall billions. Thoughts became commands. Cursors flicked via intent. Memories back to the cloud, and consensual telepath turned boardrooms into silent sympathies. Symphonics. Paired with smart goggles, Meta's Ray-Bans evolved to lightweight HUDs, phone-conducting whispers, overlaying the world with AR grace, and phones became relics. It, back-in batteries gathered dust. Dating apps, obsolete. Now is a vibe scans mid-coffee clench. Newer patterns whispering mats and floaty auras. In our shared fortress, this tech wasn't luxury, it was liberation. No more FOMO from the outside world, just us wired inward, dreaming outward. Plug yourself into the system. The pivot to the stars came like thunder on a clear night. When earthly chains snapped, resources flooded skyward. Trump leaked NASA's blueprints, dusted off and turbocharged, screamed Moon first, Mars next. Private Titans, SpaceX, Blue Origin merged with Uncle Sam's coffers, repurposing silos into sim bags. Whispers of a dedication economy Academy bubbling up from the Air Force Colorado Spring Crater, where 93 Space Force commissions have already awaited appetites. By July 2026, it was born, the United States Space Force Academy. USSFA, a sprawling ZG quadruple straddling the Mojar and the High Plains. Domes shimmering with AR starfields, newer pods but dream flights, and entry demands Golga scanned aptitude. Your mind blueprint laid bare. As the hymn stood an unlucky prophet, God's servant Bob, a heartland visionary whose X-threads had long woven scriptures with star charts. We're not just leaving Earth, he posted in those early lockdown days. We're hitting the card to multiply the heavens. His visions crystallized the academy's soul. The basic instructions before leaving Earth, Bible, no dusty tome, but a newer upload encyclopedia. Genesis for launch logic, Psalms for zero G Vespers, Revelation for the what if we meet the neighbors. It was a boundary-less interstellar behavior and logical encyclopedia, as with ruins. Trust in the Lord with all your thrust vectors. Day one from candidates sync with the Bible, a 24-hour immersion called Genesis Grid, where let there be light, ignite iron thrusters into Sims, and echo chambers of thought prayers aligning the hive. Zoe. The Circurium was no gentle orbit. Exobiology 401, Sentinel, Slime, and the Stars floods guardians into the cosmic mandarin. Extremorphia, peroxide titans, methane beasts, silicone rock drillers echoing the expanse, and the shadows loom in Model 10, the electric enemy. Igma. These wasn't technical tyrants or gray-skinned scouts. Electric beams were the apex storm. Plasma orbs are bound neutrinos, phasing through reality like ghosts in the ether. Intangible, insensible, they hijack biocurrents with vibe seizures, rewriting memories in alien static. UFO lore whispers of the joyrides, the 55 Kelly Hopkinsville goblins electrified, the 67 Falcon Lake burns, Phoenix Lights pulses souls. In Sims, they fell fleets 87% faster than hordes of horror. Hawkins' nightmare ants to their arc welders. Terrible triumph. From the fever of that November 25th comment scare, the Rogue 31 Atlas slinging past Earth on November 11th like a Bible called Herbert Brenner, R&D labs on the Cheyenne Mountain forged the antidote. Harvard's alien probe hot takes. Baba Vanga Dusty E.T. prophecies and the Setai frantic Sims decoding math proofs from phantom pawns lit the fuse. No invasion came, just ice and irony. But the what is warped into white papers. 6 lockdown months, 47 prototypes yield the CUC bodysuit. Counter ultra-conductive cocoon. A second skin Faraday footage of silver ermine weaved in electric gel. It quenched the fire jarts, redirecting volts into ground loops. New stabilators, auto firing against echo possession. Cadets tested it in the CUC critical. Soon enough for Zap Sims, where Ezekiel chariots become a hostile swarm. Pass. Aura green glory. Fell. Analog lapse. Humanity in sweat. But the bodysuit was mere prologue. Scared to the stars, CUC plated starships Horrors sheathed in asbestos graphite laced with superconductive cuprates, incoming EM assaults, solar sneezes, or orb temperaments, triggering resonate cascades, humming at 432 HG in harmony of the spears. No switch flip. Captains embarking via brainnet prayer. Shields of faith building a 500 M plasma bubble that deflected 98% of plasma pulses, harvesting jolts for FTL light thrust. The dome shimmered like Dune's Aegis or Moses' part pillar of fire, pushing back EMP boosts to scramble foes. In Emran's Armageddon 402, cannons retrofitted mock-up wargaming insurrections with Bible-etched code. No weapons formed against these should prosper. Ruins glowing on collars. The birth wasn't bloodless. Ethics rage in forms. Newer inequity for the poor. Dominant versus diplomacy with the Watchers' first contact loom, not as apocalypse but as awakening, was Atlas Ezekiel's Will 2.0 or just a red herring? At God's Servant's Bob remix anchored it all. A Watcher Wake Up appendix, discerning angelistic sparks from demonic surges. Smugglers dream of bootleg flakes, tunneling CUC secrets under the Rio Grande for black market dorms. Yet in the USSFA's glow, isolation birthed empire, fleet seated Lagrange points, tequila feared fabs printed parts, and guardians newer made scripture shielded claim Proby by 35. On graduating eve under a dome of aura lights and aura stars, at God's servant Bob addresses the first cohort. We close the word to open the heavens. The Bible is our map. CUC our armor. Electric Igamas our forged fire. Go forth, be fruitful, multiply the void. As your armada lifted, shields humming psalms, North America shared its share. Not an end, but a genesis. The stars wasn't just calling, they was keen. At last, we was ready to answer. Let me know what you think. Thank you.